Hey everyone. Hey y'all. So, y'all know I love to come on a little bit early just to decompress as instead of just sitting here waiting to come on live. Um, you know, I just hop on. So how's everybody's Wednesday doing? As I figure out a way to Hey Georgie, how are you? Hey, how are you? Finding a way to better prop up my stuff so I ain't gotta be looking crazy in the daggone camera. Well, good. I'm glad to hear it. We're just gonna put this down like this. I have other stands if I need a. There we go. Yes, better. I am here. Today, like this week has been another one of them weeks. Since I got back to work been just. But good things are happening. And for that, we say we thanks for the blessings. We recorded the podcast a little bit earlier. And we're going to be talking about Say It to My Face. So, the feedback loop needed for pattern testing and stuff like that. And my face looked dry as hell. My bad, y'all. Just what y'all get from me today. Hey, everyone. Hey. But today we are making new Look N6772. We are doing the top. I looked at the pants and they come off more as PJ pants and the top does not. So I don't want to do the bottom. So we're just going to do the top. Hey everyone. But yeah. Got a few minutes. I will show you the fabric that I'm working on. So instead of doing it in a tier tone, or like a 3-tone colorway, I'm doing it in a 2. So I am doing like a middle stripe of color in between the two. So for my top and my bottom, as well as my sleeves, I'm using this fleece, this like activewear fleece from Joanne. I think it came out last year. So we have that, and then for the actual middle piece, I'm using sweatshirt, just some regular sweatshirting. And then for the like bottom bands and stuff like that, I have this activewear micro fleece. Oh, thank you. So this is a Keith Haring sweatshirt that I got from Marshall's. I love Keith Haring, so when I find stuff, I buy it. Which, of course, I have been doing a lot of that lately. We are back to Bernice, the Burnett, or Bernadette. No, I can't call it Bernadette. I have a cousin named Bernadette. Bernie Byrne, the Burnett. I had been trying... No, I'm just doing the top. Because the pants, there are better pants patterns, in my opinion. It has a grown-on waist, so instead of doing like a waistband, it has a grown-on waist that you just thread elastic to. It's not my favorite. Super simple. I think actually putting on a waistband would be easier than the method that they gave you. And it'll be a cleaner finish. So that's why I'm only doing view A, the top. I think the top is the star of the pattern anyway. The pants to me seem like they were an afterthought. So, but overall, this should be a really simple pattern. Again, we are finishing up our beginner's month. This is a little bit more because it's a little bit of an extra step. I'm probably going to use my serger for a good portion of it, but the way the pattern is drafted, they want you to sew them together and then press your seam allowances flat and top stitch on both sides. Bernadine, I like that. Bernadine. Yeah, I don't have a Bernadine. And I keep on forgetting names of machines. I need to, the only one I can remember is Vanessa, the Vivor, for Big Fun. But, and I think I already have, because I have so many Bernina and Burnett machines. There's a lot of Burr in it, Burr names, and they just get switched around. The only like two I can really remember are Vanessa and Monty by Montgomery Ward. But I also need one for the Morris because I do like the Morris, or maybe just Morris the Morris. So I've already set up my machines, but I can definitely tell you how I set them up. So I have set this up. My regular sewing machine, I'm using my well-decorated Bernina B77. Hey, Anna. I have set it up with some of my Gutermann thread. Gutermann thread, I'm using a Microtex needle 70. I changed my needle as well. Make sure my machines were cleaned and oiled. With the Bernina, hey Mike, they want you to oil it at least once every like 6 months. So it's literally a drop of oil, and there's like, you can see a little wick hole in your bobbin area. So did that. For my serger, I'm using my L860 by Bernina. I have it set up for my regular 4-thread overlock. Because you are going to see the top threads more, or the needle threads more than anything, I did change those to black and change the other threads to gray. I have on my seam guide, and I have that set for 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, which is right here at the edge of the foot, when I have my regular cutting width set at 6. Morgan or Morshaw. Hey Jamie, how are you? So those are how I have my machine set up. I'm using Mettler thread on my serger. I'm using Gutermann thread on my sewing machine. Like a lot of my threads, this is one of the larger spools. I get these in cases from Waywack or Wawack. I'm usually for like multiple colors, it's like upwards of 300, but I ain't about have to buy thread in forever. And you get like 100 different colors with that. So, something to think about. So, y'all ready? Let's get started. Okay, so this uses mostly 5/8 of an seam allowance. If you are following the pattern directly, what they want you to do is sew this like with I would use like a smaller zigzag, and then you will top stitch on either side. That's not my favorite, especially with this internal fabric. Like, it's not going to fray or anything like that, but I'm feeling the idea of just serging this all together, because that's mostly how we'll put this together. So I think I'm going to serge it together and then top stitch everything down. Is this an updated chat? I don't know. I've only seen this with New Look, but it might be an updated. You know, as things are in all of the different pattern lines, it could be. So, you know, I don't know. But yes, please continue to likes and everything like that. Thank you so much for everybody who has liked. When we get to 10,000 likes, that means that the algorithm will start to share it out to everybody. So I have a version by McCall's that with color blocking. It might be then. It might be. All right, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to make sure I have my pieces in order, because they all look the same. And I think we're going to start on, let me grab this piece. So this is my back. So let me grab all of my back pieces and we'll start putting together. Thank you so much for the glasses, love. Y'all know I love a good pair of glasses. They make me happy. So that's a back. This is a front, upper front, lower back, okay? So, this is, and literally we're gonna see how quick this goes together. Hopefully, again, here for a short time, not a long time, because why? I got homework to do. If you do not know, I am in a class called the Confident Pattern Drafter. Learning how to draft patterns digitally using Adobe Illustrator so that I can start to release my own patterns. You still loving my hair? Thank you for loving it while it's still here, because Lord knows. So I had an accident this week with my hair, or last week. In the winter snap, somehow or another, I was trying to shift my hat and yanked a lock out of my hair. So it feels like my hair starting way far back in my head, and my goal is to never look like Stevie Wonder. And because of the length of my locks and the size of them, they're it's thinning up here. I don't think it looks bad yet, but when I tell you lately, I've been eyeing scissors longingly. I've had my locks for 11 years. They are down my back. They're literally to my ass. So, but yeah, I keep on telling y'all, make me, if I look bad and y'all out here having me look like somebody daddy or something like that who needs to let it go a long time ago, and y'all ain't letting me know, I'm coming for all of y'all. I'm telling you now. Don't have me out here looking a fool. Thank y'all so much for the hearts and everything like that. Lord, I forgot I had to go. Well, thank y'all so much. But yeah, so what the first thing we're gonna do is I'm starting with my back piece. And we're gonna start to put the piece together. So the piece is broken up into 3 pieces. You have your upper back, your middle back, and your lower back. And we're gonna start putting that panel together. So you can use clips or pins, but I have placed my my pieces right sides together, and we're about to take them over to the machine and sew them up. I'm gonna use my serger at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And we do not serge over pins because that will mess up your knife. So I have gotten, like, I know a lot of people love clips. Clips are cool, and literally I have them right next to me. I'm a pin person, have been. I think that's just how I started. So I, a lot of times, will use my clips more than I would use my pins. So with the serger, it has like needle up, needle down by a press of a foot pedal. So I'm going to do that and then use my knee lift to lift it up so I can get everything underneath. When I start to serge, what I like to do is make sure that the edge of my fabric is butting up against my knife. So against the knife. And then, of course, we keep our hands away from it because you don't need to have your hands all up in the business. Let the machine feed and do its job. I'm going to slowly start putting this together. As we get close to a pin, we remove our pin. And I'm going to lift you up just a tad bit so that you can see maybe a bit more. And actually, there you go. There we go. I'm using my jack leg tripod piece that does not like to hold my things up, but sometimes it comes in handy. Hair tattoo fill in. No, I ain't thought about it. It might be, lots have served their purpose for me. And locks have served their purpose. And I'm appreciative and I'm grateful for my locks. But also know that there's a season. And I've been trying to hold on to a season because, I mean, they're part of my identity, but also too, I need to know who I am without them now too. I've had them for most of my 20s. Well, shit, most of my 20s and my 30s now. So, because this year it will be 12 years. So, and you know, and we're just slowly taking our time. Thank you for everybody who is joining us. If you have questions about the pattern, look, and I don't have no issue with it because understand that before I had locks, I was bald. I would bick my head, and the idea of going back to that sounds so lovely most days, and that's real. All right, so we have our first piece sewn on, and what I'm going to do is I'm batch sewing my pieces. So instead of sewing on piece going to press it, I'm going to put all of this together first, the back, and then I'm going to go press it. What looks easy for me? This is a super, super simple pattern. That's what helps to make the ease. Also, y'all know, I've been doing this a little long, a little bit of time, just a little bit. So, the way that you feel that it looks easy for me, it can definitely be and feel easy for you too, with a little bit of practice. And patterns like this make the job easy too. So there we go. So now we're going to go back and pin on our next piece. And what I usually do is I pin, I love to know how to read a pattern. Overall, it is pretty simple, or at least maybe because I started with patterns. That's what makes it easy for me. I will be 100% honest with you. I look at the pictures more than anything. That's how my mind works. So I will read when I'm like looking like I don't understand what they're saying here, but yeah, I'm a picture person more than anything. 100% with you. Oh, wait a minute. Ow. So I cut a piece wrong, I think. I did. But it's okay. Because what we're about to do is, mostly because this is a square pattern, I ain't worried about it. Because I want to make sure that my fabric is going the correct way. They talk about notches and seam allowance. So seam allowance is basically what you need to make sure that your seams can stay together. Whenever you're sewing fabric together, you need to make sure that there's a room for your fabric to move, for your fabric to breathe, and if you do not finish edges, they fray. So you want to make sure that there's that room built in so that your fabric ain't gonna fray while you up here wearing it and you end up with a hole in your shit. Okay? So that is what seam allowance is. Okay? Now, we about to fold this back up and we're gonna, how do I differentiate each piece? Let me show you. So, each piece has notches and dots. Well, no, I did it right. So then why ain't it fitting? Let me see. Want to make sure something. Oh yeah, okay, we did it right. So each piece has these notches and the notches. So what you see with notches is usually like notches match each other. So I have all of my back pieces in line and then all of my double notches are matching up. So if I'm looking at that middle piece had single notches up top, double notches at the bottom. That means that my lower piece also has double notches at the top, that those match, and my top piece had single notches at the bottom, and those match up. So a lot of times your notches are what matches. Now, the dots that you might see on other pieces, those are sometimes used as pinpoint marks that you want to make sure are lining up and guiding each thing together. So you a lot of times will see dots for pocket placement. You'll see dots for, this is exactly what you're supposed to stitch to. You'll see dots for exactly like for placement of armholes and stuff like that. That's normally where you see dots kind of come into play. For me, because I've been sewing for a while, what I like to do is I like to mark my dots the same way as I do my notches. So a lot of times for my notches, I will go ahead and cut a little arrow chunk out of it to differentiate that from just a clip in for a dot. So some people do use stickers. I know I learned that from Erica Bunker. She likes to use little small dots. I found that sometimes that gets all caught up, and if you sew over it, it kind of gets stuck there a little bit. So a lot of times I won't do the same. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm making sure that my double notches match. I had to make sure I did it right. Yeah. Because I want to make sure that this falls correctly. Thank you so much for the hoodie, love. This is, I think this is members only. I bought this from Marshall's before Christmas for myself because, you know, I need to close the fit. But I am a fan of Keep Haring, so it was a nice, a natural purchase for me. All right, so. And I pinned this the same way, so at where my notches are meeting, I put a pin up in place perpendicular to the fabric, At the edges, I put it parallel, and I put it farther into the garment so that I don't have to worry about if I'm gonna run over it with my blade. So I'm gonna again put my knife up, place my fabric in all the way to the edge. And using this seam guide, I'm literally just riding along the edge. So once I get started, what I like to do is make sure everything is lined up. Okay. And I basically take a hand and hold it at the notch. So I'm basically matching notch, like from the edge to the notch, making sure everything is flat, making sure nothing is like I'm missing fabric or I'm getting puckers or anything like that. Once I get towards this pin right here, I take it out. Okay. Then I kind of rejig stuff, keep it going. So once I've gotten to that notch, that first notch there, I do the same thing, hold everything together at the next notch. So the next notch is in my hand. And a lot of times I like to put my thumb underneath and hold on top with my 2 fingers. If you're interested in learning more about this method of holding your fabric with a little bit of a turn up, check out Islander Sewing System. That uses some kind of industrial sewing techniques of how they sew in factories, and they brought it to the regular garment industry, or to the regular like home sews industry, and a lot of people do like their method of sewing. And you can find them still online and stuff like that. And so I use kind of a hybrid method. I use a few pins just in holding things together. But otherwise, I don't do a lot. They are the reason I learned about making sure that I have like an extension table so that it can reduce drag on my fabric and stuff like that. As you can see, I'm just taking my time, holding everything together. Then we're going to stitch off and cut off. Okay. So this is the back of our shirt, and what we will do is we will go ahead and press this out in a bit. I'm going to hold off on pressing out and do the front first. What's the name of what again? What's the name of what? Oh, the system is called the Islander Sewing System. Islander. All right, so this is the first piece. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and start doing the back piece. So then I can basically, I'm trying to chunk together all of the things that are like sewing so that I can be done with this for a second and then go to the regular sewing machine to do top stitching. Okay. Thank you so much. The fabric is from Joann's. This was part of year before last, Black History Month section. Also, if you did not know, this year with Target did a collaboration with G's Ben Quilters. G's Ben Quilters is a quilt collective of black women in a predominantly black area of Alabama called G's Bend. They are known for their abstract, very bright graphic type style of quilts that go for a lot of money if you buy one. A lot. But they did a collaboration this year, and they have throws and stuff like that for sale in Target. So I literally got my order earlier today. So you bought the quilted jacket. So I bought the throw and the pouch and the quilted journal, because I love the idea of the quilted jacket. I wish the black and white and red one was one as well. So yes, so literally they just announced that collaboration a few days ago, but it's available in your Target stores as well as Target online. I was looking at some of the different, they have Black Boy Smile collaboration this year and stuff like that. So they have some really fun articles in their section this year with for Black History Month. So definitely something to check out. So if you ever wanted a lot of like the Barbie dolls and stuff like that, the Inspiring Women series that I have on my wall, most of those are out right now. So you have Betsy Coleman, you have Madam C.J. Walker, you have Ella Fitzgerald, Rosa Parks, Katherine Johnson. Those should also be available in your stores where they have all your Black History section stuff. You have one of the Black Men Smile t-shirts, so I need to get a t-shirt now. A Black Man Smile t-shirt. And it's funny because tomorrow, so I'm a part of this group called the Peace of Mind Project, focused on Black men's mental health. So we have our first meeting tomorrow. Really about building skills and brotherhood using a little bit of traditional African spirituality and mindfulness techniques. So it should be an interesting experience. But we meet tomorrow for the first time at an observatory. So we're going to spend some time looking at the stars. So I'm excited about the break. And it does have a large art and stuff focus as well. All right. So, and as I talked about on the back, we see that we have the single notch matching up the top of our pattern piece or our upper pattern piece to our middle pattern piece at the top. So I'm about to sew this together again at 5/8 of the seam allowance. Actually, it is really cool because I think, especially around Black men and mental health and stigma about feelings and talking, there's a lot of work that still needs to happen, and a lot of culture sharing that can happen there too. What's going to be interesting is that most of these spaces can come off as real heteronormative. They are doing an intentional job to make sure that that's not the case with them, which I can appreciate. But a lot of times I've gone to a lot of like Black men mental health stuff, and it's all very heteronormative. And I'm like, look, we here too. We out here. We're very present. We've been here. And a lot of times when that's the case, like I need other Black men to understand that I don't want you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I'm attracted to men don't mean that I want every man I see. I'm not like you with women. I ain't trying to jump everybody's bones that I see. I don't see it as a conquest thing for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, but if a woman don't want you and find you cute, why you think a man would? You barely wipe your ass good. There's shit stains in your drawers. And you think I want you? Come on now. Don't do it. But also, too, in a lot of African cultures, those who identified as queer, gay, and stuff like that, we were seen as the gatekeepers. Because we understood there's a different type of connection to earth and to spirit that we can have, being a connection to both the masculine and the feminine. You know what I'm saying? So when that is the case, understand, while you see us as some type of threat because you don't fully understand, we can be such an asset to you. Because you up here always having issues with women and issues with talking, when sometimes we are better connected to them and we can help you understand. If you would ask the damn question, we can help you with your hygiene because you tired of your girl saying that your breath stink and that you don't wash your ass good because you scared of being gay because you don't want to wipe your ass and you don't want to wash between the cheeks. I'm just saying. Maybe I said too much, but I'm just saying. I ain't saying this for all men. I'm just saying this for the ones who up here protest too much. I don't want your crusty ass. I'm just saying. But it's sad that, and understand that this is by design that this happened. The same way that you're hearing a lot of cultures say that, oh, our culture we don't have gay people and stuff like that. I'm like, yes, you do. Especially like a lot of African countries and stuff like that. We don't have, yes, you did. We know your history. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And we ain't about to let you tell that lie. But what we will say is that, and y'all will say that y'all didn't have that and it was colonialism and stuff like that. I'm like, no, colonialism is what brought homophobia. because what brought with homophobia came Christian control, in a Eurocentric Christian control. So you are up here really listening and propagating and spreading retrocentric ideals. That's not African. That's not African. And I mean, the same way that, a lot of people will say, like, you don't want to know about Ifa and all the different orishas and stuff like that is demonic and worship and stuff like that. But I'm like, literally, you go to church on every. How can you get the DL away from you? You have to make that decision to make that boundary. If you know the case, then why are you still entertaining them? Or you can just say, like, look, you cool and everything like that, but friends on them. Friends on them. Because I like people who are true to themselves. And I know you're not. We can be friends, though. And I hope the best for you. But I'm not the one for you. Understand that they operating out of a place of hurt, too. There's probably a longing for them to be able to know what freedom feels like. Well, then if that's the case, that's a safety situation for you, and that's crazy. And you need to find serious legal help to keep that away from you. You get what I'm saying? That's beyond just a regular I'm going to tell. Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, so that's beyond just talking to them then. You need to go ahead and make sure that you have a good exit plan and make sure you're protected and safe. Make sure you got your community around you. Because if they want to act like that, get you one of the real good out gays. They'll handle it. Because we know how to do things with razor blades and tongues and such. We can start some shit. I'm just saying. With kindness and love. Anywho, okay. We're gonna keep on going back. But yeah, so I mean, but back to but that's still Western control and everything like that, because you still doing the same stuff, and even in the church. And it's funny because you see a lot of these black churches, we don't believe in idolatry and all this worship and stuff like that, but I'm like, yet you fast on certain days. But yet, I'm seeing y'all light candles, and I'm seeing y'all up here have mantles and blessed oil. And yet, y'all still having white night service and making sure that all your stuff is clean before you go into the new year. And yet, you wearing certain colors for certain days. But yet, you up here, I'm still seeing some of y'all throw salt behind your back. I still see some of y'all sweeping up your house from back to forward, sweeping into the middle, in a circular motion. But yet, I still see y'all not putting out trash through your front door. But yet, I still see some of y'all not put your shoes above your head. Know the history and the origins of the stuff that you do. Just because you saw your grandma do. And understand, I think there was a time that basically they did it. They just still went to church too. This is why I'm Christian Plus. I'm going to do what I feel works for me. And there's multiple things from multiple places. Our parents and stuff and our generations before us understood that. But at the same token, I think you have a lot of people who are coming away from religion and coming away from spirituality and poo-pooing and stuff like that. And I think that is wrong as well. Understand, especially as you go into ancestral worship, you also have to be mindful of how your ancestors worshipped and how your ancestors knew things. And if you are really trying to pay reverence to your ancestors, you cannot defame the gods that they served. You cannot totally give up the things. And these are the ancestors that you know by name to then only venerate the ones that you don't. Don't forget them. Because they up here also are still advocating and working on your behalf. You just also need to be mindful of how they understand and operate, because that also feeds their spirit. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm just talking. And if I'm talking out of turn, y'all let me know. Understand there's a reason that if I'm not trying to upload stuff to YouTube, that I'm a lot of times listening to gospel music and stuff like that. It feeds my soul, but it partially feeds my soul because it reminds me of my ancestors. I grew up apostolic. That's all you listen to. A lot of times in like a lot of my grandmamas and stuff like that, they house. There was no secular music. And I honor them, and that's what I find comfort in. And sometimes you need that comfort. So, I'm just saying, be mindful and use mindfulness in understanding even your spiritual practices. Because a lot of times we are blindly following stuff that ain't serving us. Or we don't know the origins or the reasons. So it's important to know your reasoning. Just know your reasons. All right. So, we have literally put together our fronts and our backs. So now what I'm about to go do is I'm going to go press this. Yes, this is a knit. And over here, in this house, we press knits. So, we're about to go press this. I want to make sure that I'm raising y'all to a level that y'all can see me at my iron. And then we'll go from there. And as you can see, this is a really overall quick pattern, which I need today because I need to go plan some outfits. Because as of a little bit ago, I found out I have a photo shoot on next Thursday. And I gotta look cute because it's a bigger deal than I thought it was. So now, yes, do I have a lot of patterns out because I was losing my mind earlier? I do. I surely do. Honey, I really ain't got time to make a mood board. I thought about it because instead of making a mood board, I just start picking fabrics and seeing what fabrics I got to make something. My thought is definitely to use some of my patterns. The problem is, of course, is that, sizing changes. What fits? Nothing fits. Altering. Ain't gonna work when you gotta alter down like 4, 5, 6 sizes. So what I'm doing first, the way that I like to press is I like to press the seam flat, so press everything to like while it's still folded like this to really set my seam in place, and then I open it up and I'm pressing everything to the busy side. So that is probably where I'm going to have my top stitching at, and not in the black area. Right? So as you can see here from the back, I have my seam allowances open. Okay. So yeah, I am thinking of doing my pattern. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's like I'm about to be an old church mama. It's all right, baby. But it looks better when you do. A lot of times, especially if you're working with your fabric and stuff like that, you have the waves and stuff like that, the pressing helps to relax and release some of that. You'll notice that your stuff just kind of comes together and looks a little bit more melded together. I don't do caftans. The person who does caftans is Terrence Williams Designs. So yeah, I am thinking about doing my pattern. I think I have some red ponte knit that I can make the pants in, and a rainbow, like a red swirl that I can do the top in. Or I got Got some other double knits that I maybe be able to do my pattern in. So what iron can I recommend? It depends on your budget. What's your budget? Because I have irons at different prices. So again, I'm pressing it flat first. Then I'm pressing it open. And we are pressing, we are not ironing, so we are literally lifting like this as I go along the seams. I'm not dragging my iron across my fabric. When you drag, especially with heat, it becomes like a straightening comb. When you straighten kinky fibers, what does it do? It relaxes and comes out distorted. So lift up the iron and move it. Have a much better result. All right. You ready to invest in quality? So, again, I need budget. So, if you have a space for it, and you have like a dedicated space, a gravity feed iron is a great investment. You can get one of those for like 60, 70 bucks, but you need to have a space that you can hang the tank from. So there's that. That's one option. Another option is to get a steam generator iron. So that is kind of compact, but there's a larger tank. So my iron currently uses like a liter of water or a liter and a half of water. You can get one of those between 200 and upwards of 9. So I have a Laura Star lift iron that runs around 1,000. I also have an Oliso iron that runs around 200, but I also have some gravity feed irons that run, I think my first one was like 60, 65. I don't have high enough ceilings down here to adequately hold the tank, so I don't use the tank model. That's why I went to a steam generator model. There is one on, I don't know what I just said on. Anywho. There is a steam generator model on Amazon, sometimes running for like $150. I wouldn't get it. It's not my favorite. I tried it. I wouldn't do it. So, but like Rowenta Perfect Steam Pro, Supreme Steam Pro, like those, I would do. The only thing is those turn off after 10 minutes. That's why the Laura Star does not. So I like the Laura Star. Waywack has a reliable version. Some that turn off, some that don't. So it's just up to you. All right. How do I like the clothes Eddie Murphy wore in Boomerang? I like them. I love vintage anyway. And it's avant-garde styling. If you look at my page, I not too long did a shirt by Berta that has a similar feel. Hey, Will. Oh, you have a Laura Star? All right, so what I'm now about to do is I'm about to top stitch this. When I'm top stitching, I am doing it at a larger seam allowance just to kind of give it a little look, and it's also a knit, so it's going to be a little stretch in it. So I have my seam allowance set to my stitch length set at 3.5 millimeters instead of like a regular 2.5. And I'm using like one of the internal markings on my foot for this, but I might actually just go ahead and change over my foot. Let's see what foot I want to use. So I might go ahead for this and use, this is one of my, so you just have the lift, so you just have the iron itself and not the actual smart iron. So I have the smart as well. I like the lift better. Because I did not have to continue to crawl on the ground in a small space to get to the tank. That's just me. So this is one of my quilting foots for my machine. So I'm going to use this just to help. It has some guide marks. Just the same way that I use the the static marks on my machine to help guide like my seam allowance and stuff like that. I'm going to do the same in here. So I'm probably going to match up where the edge is to this mark over here, right on that inner edge. And that's what I'm going to ride along to get my top stitching. So is anybody else sewing this evening? Or are we just watching me? Which is fine too. Because we are at hump day. And we are trying not to get humped on by the days. Come on, cutting. What you cutting out? Are you cutting for... Because you got a few sew-alongs, don't you? Are you driving? Okay. Come on, cutting out the Lord Jesus, your butterick. So also with this machine, which is a little bit different than most of your other machines, that this is a push-button machine, meaning that there are no... denim. So did you see my jeans? I posted it. I did make some. I had to hem them still and put a button on, but I did make some jeans with one of my new machines that came through. This is the back pockets. I was trying some of the decorative stitches on it. It's on my page. It's a pictures post with CapCut. But yeah. This is using the, so this is Vogue 1867, 1897, something like that, pattern. And the actual machine I used was a Foth. It was okay. Not my favorite, but it was okay. It gave it the old college try. Okay. So you missed your Foth. So this month I have bought, I bought 5 machines, so technically 6. But so I bought 2 Foths, 1 returned, 3 Vikings, and a Bernina. I got a Viking Emerald 116 for like $70. I got the Foth that I kept. Is a Ambition 620. I accidentally won that one on Shop Goodwill, but it basically came out brand new. I bought a vintage Viking, or 2 vintage 6690s, their first electronic machines. And then I bought one of my dream Berninas, which is a Viking, or a Bernina 950 industrial. The industrial is not like an actual real industrial, but it is a flatbed that uses like an industrial bobbin and stuff like that. It can go fast, but not as fast as other ones. Thank you. Overall, I do like the things. I need to put a, I'm going to make sure I put a hem on them and stuff like that. But one thing, like when it got to the waistband, it was just a little bulky for the machine itself. But overall, it did what it needed to do. I think for certain projects and stuff like that, it's a nice one to have in the collection. Now, how long is it going to stay in the collection? I don't know. Y'all know how I do. But, you know, I see people like Bird and Monica and Lindsay and stuff like that. I have some friends that sew on Foths. And I just wanted to try it for myself to see the difference between a Foth and a Viking. I could tell there was a bit of a difference, but it was still a little bit more, especially as a modern machine. Still some bugs I was just like, I have other machines that do this better, like basic stuff. Like, I don't like the reverse on that machine. Like, I can't get as precise as I want to with that machine. And like with this one, that one does not have a knee lift. This one has knee lift. This one has push button things I can do, like auto thread cutting with my foot and stuff like that. That one did not. So, all right. So we went ahead and did this, and we did a little bit of top stitching along the color edges on both sides. So we're done with that piece. Now we're going to do the same with the other one. And as you can see, this is coming together pretty quick, which is good, because hell, I still need to eat dinner. I don't even know what I'm eating. The joys of my life when it comes to food and stuff now. Be like, I guess I should eat and not really be hungry. Have I eaten today? I think I had a bag of rice cakes. What type of machine you got? I like your project, by the way. So this is a Bernina B77. So similar to what Terrence has, he has the model that also has that also does embroidery. So this is just the sewing only model. I got this on eBay. And it was like a former demo. If you did not know, most of the machines that I get are not brand new. I like testing my machines used. I like buying them used. I have a good relationship with dealers. So when I do get a machine this way, we are easily, if something is wrong with them, I can easily fix them or get them fixed. So don't be afraid when you hear of these higher cost machines. Most of the time we are buying them. You don't have to buy them brand new, because there are going to be some people that either tried them, don't like them, or bought them and was like, yeah, no, I'm good. So buy them that way. Save the planet, save the, like, there's already enough plastics, there's enough microchips and stuff like that. You can buy it used, and it's okay. So we're going to do this last line of top stitching. Right, so 10,000, look. And I've gotten machines that were basically brand spanking new, so yeah. As long as it's been well taken care of, there's a reason why you can find Berninas that are 30 years old still going for like $1,000 or more. Right. Hey Tydree, how are you? So we have now all of our stuff is done and top stitch. Now, let's look at the instructions to make sure I do this right. I won't steer y'all wrong, because I would do it the way I do it. All right, so next part we are going to do our neck edges, or do our shoulder seams, and then we're going to stay stitch the neck, and we'll talk about stay stitching. I am doing all right. We are here. We are here. So with the neck, we are going to match everything up. There are little like arrows marking some of your dots here. Machine I'm sewing on now currently is the Bernina, or the Bernina B77. So it has the same interface as a Bernina and stuff like that, but at a more affordable pricing. It is designed by Bernina, not manufactured by Bernina. I think it is manufactured by Janome, which is also still a high quality machine. Because when I tell you all these machine companies kind of work together, they do. So putting a few pins in here at my shoulder seams, making sure everything is matched up. I start off from the outside edge, making sure that my notches match up first. Oh, you have a B77 as well? How do you like your machine? So this is one of my backup machines, of course. I have, if y'all didn't know, I will share my shame. Oh, shit. I now have like 60 machines. Shit. That's a lot. Oh, well. So I guess I now own about 60 machines. Because I just thought about that. I had to count in my head. Jesus. Some of them are for loaning. Some of them are for keeping and trying and stuff like that. I have shelves in my basement. I currently have 1 or 2 in my living room. 1 or 2 in my dining room, maybe. So the Bernina currently is not, that's just a sewing machine. They do have a, yes, I did say 60. Yeah. If I sit down and count them all, I think that's how many I have. There is, Bernina also makes sergers and stuff as well. So they have the B64, B68, the B62, the Funlock 44, the Funlock 42, and the Funlock 48 are their serger line. Still getting used to it? Well, if you have questions, please let us know. I am an ambassador with Bernina. So I do, I try to know my ins and outs of things on my machines. And hopefully there will be some exciting stuff coming in the near future that I will be able to share later. I've worked with Bernina America and International. I launched one of their sergers. So the serger that you see me working on, I launched this machine. So I'm literally, if you go online and look up the L860, a lot of times you'll see my face in the ads and stuff like that. So this is my baby. One of my favorite machines. But I do like, especially if you can't afford this one, I really do enjoy, I have the air thread cover stitch machine from Bernina, and honestly, I could have probably also cover stitched instead of doing like regular top stitching, and that would have been a cute look too. I didn't think about that. So, and I might come back and do a sweater that way, because that would also give a really, really, really cute look. So you still have a Viking. Look, nothing wrong with the used ones. Like I said, I love used machines. My serger, it is a Bernina L860. L860. And in that line, there's the L850, L860, and L890. The L890 is a computerized serger cover stitch combo. The L860 is the computerized serger only. The L850 is a air thread mechanical. And for a similar pricing, you can get the Bernina B68, which is a combo mechanical with air thread. The B64 is the serger only mechanical air thread, and the B62 is the mechanical only air thread cover stitch. So a lot of times a little bit more at a more affordable price, because you still get a good machine. So we're definitely not going to call it cheaper. So I think some Vikings on. I used to work at a Viking sewing gallery before I started working with Bernina. How much is a combo one? So MSRP is different than what you usually pay for it in store, but you can get a combo machine for like I think it's like 2,000 from Burnett. From Bernina, it's like an $8,000 machine. But right now, like that MSRP also comes with like a $3,500 studio, like folding studio table. So also you have the like one of the older models, but yeah, but even that older model's good. So now that we've done that, we are going to go ahead and do all of our. First of all, we're going to see which one is the top, which one is the back. Which one is the front, which one is the back. Ooh, there's still a pen in here. There you go. That was in my hand. Which one is the front? Okay. So we're going to guess that is the back. Let me check. Or is that the front? Oh, that's the front. Okay. So now that I know which one is the front, which is one is the back, I'm making sure that my my little serger stitches are going towards the back as I go along here and do a quick stay stitch along the neckline. So what a stay stitch does is that's going to make sure that you are not distorting your neckline as you're sewing and putting your pieces together. So I like to do mine within the 5/8 inch seam allowance. So I do mine usually like at a 1/2 inch or something like that. The printed fabric is from Joanne. And a lot of times, so some patterns will have you do this while it's still flat before you do the shoulder seams. This one has you do this all together. Now the proper way to do a face, like to do stay stitching, what they will have you do is start from one edge, go to the center, go to the other edge and go to the center. If you go from one edge all the way around or something like that, you have the chance of stretching it out. I've done this enough. I'm not doing that. But do what I say. Do what comes out my mouth, not what I do. And drink your water too. I'm using my sorority wear mug. Whew. And the reason for our chill vibe music is so that I can then, you should be able to find this probably within the next few days. I will upload this to YouTube. So, bees on the lookout.